The doorbell chimed, a clean, melodic sound that echoed through the two-story foyer. It was a sound designed for welcoming guests, not for announcing the arrival of ghosts. I knew who it was, not by premonition, but by the cold, sinking certainty of a debt coming due. A debt I didn't owe. My mother, Sharon, stood on the polished concrete of my porch. 9 years had carved new lines around her eyes and mouth, but she wore the same beige cardigan, a garment that served as her armor of quiet judgment. She looked smaller than I remembered, but her presence filled the doorway, a storm cloud blocking the afternoon sun. She was not empty-handed. A small, worn carry-on suitcase sat by her feet. In her hand, she clutched a single, folded piece of paper. "Ava," she said. Her voice was thin, a reedy whisper of the authoritative tone that had once dictated my entire world. "Mom," I replied. The word felt foreign, like a borrowed coat that didn't fit. There was no hug, no tearful reunion. She stepped past me into the house, her eyes doing a swift, cold appraisal of the life I had built without her. They scanned the high ceilings, the original art on the walls, the open-plan living space that flowed toward a wall of glass overlooking the Oregon hills. It was the look of an auditor, not a mother. "We need to talk," she announced, her gaze finally settling on me. About the family's future. What Sharon didn't know was that while she had spent 9 years erasing me, I had spent them keeping records. In the bottom drawer of my office desk, behind the tax folders and insurance documents, lay a heavy black leather-bound ledger. It was my secret history, a meticulous accounting of every wound. Every birthday card stamped, refused, every venomous screenshot from my sister, every holiday I was informed I was not welcome at. 29 entries. 29 pieces of documented evidence proving that my family had not lost me, they had thrown me away. She came with a list of demands. I had a ledger of damages. Before we dissect this collision, a word. If this story is finding you for the first time, please take a moment to subscribe and hit the like button. It helps more than you know, pushing this story out to others who might be carrying their own ledgers in silence. And while you're at it, drop a comment. Tell me where you are, tell me your story. I read every single one. To understand the woman on my porch, you have to understand the town that made her. Northwood, Georgia, population 5,000, where the summer humidity was as thick as the gossip, and your family name was your most valuable and vulnerable asset. My father, Robert, was a manager at the local textile plant, a man whose character was defined by his quiet disappointment and his unshakable belief in appearances. My mother ran the household and the town's social strata with the same ruthless efficiency. She decided who was good people and who was not. My younger sister, Clara, was their masterpiece. Pretty, popular, and perfectly content within the suffocating comfort of Northwood. I was the outlier, the quiet, bookish one who scored perfect on her SATs and dreamed of cities where no one knew my last name. Even as a child, I felt like a line item they couldn't quite balance, a daughter who didn't fit the family portrait. My unforgivable sin, committed at the age of 24, was falling in love. I met Darius in a graduate economics seminar. He was arguing with the professor about Keynesian theory, his voice calm, but his logic so sharp it sliced through the room's sleepy post-lunch haze. He had a laugh that started in his chest and a way of listening that made you feel seen. He was brilliant, driven, and kind. He was also a black man from Atlanta. In my family's carefully curated world, this was a fatal error. I brought him home for a weekend. The memory is seared into me like a brand. My father shook his hand with 2 curt pumps, then disappeared into the garage for the rest of the evening. Clara smiled a saccharine smile and asked Darius questions about his background with the tone of a sociologist studying a foreign tribe. The true confrontation came after he left. My mother sat me down in the formal living room, the one with the plastic-covered furniture. Her face was a mask of cold control. "Ava, you cannot be serious about this man," she began. "I am, Mom. I love him. Love does not pay the bills, and it does not protect you from what people will say," she countered. "Our friends, our neighbors, Robert's position at the plant. You are being selfish. You are choosing to make this family a spectacle. She drew a breath. That man is not our kind. This ends now. It's him or it's us. Your family. That's not a choice, Mom. I whispered, my voice breaking. You're asking me to cut out a piece of my own heart. Then I suggest you choose wisely, she'd said, rising from her chair, because you will not bring that man or the shame he represents back into this house. I chose Darius. I chose my heart. Our wedding was at the Austin, Texas courthouse on a sweltering Tuesday in June. I wore a simple white dress that cost $160. Darius wore a navy suit he bought on clearance. His mother, Maya, a retired librarian with eyes as kind as Darius's, flew in from Atlanta. She pinned a gardenia into my hair and held my hands before the ceremony. You are my daughter now, she whispered, and in that moment she was the only mother I had. I still held out a desperate, naive hope. I mailed a wedding photo to Northwood, a picture of me and Darius squinting and beaming on the courthouse steps. I wrote a simple, pleading note, *, we are so happy. I hope one day you can be happy for us. Love, Ava, *. It came back a week later. The envelope was unopened, but the Postal Service had stamped it in brutal scarlet ink, refused. That was the first entry in my ledger. I didn't know I was starting a collection then. I just couldn't bring myself to throw it away. It felt like evidence. The next 9 years were a blur of struggle and creation. We were broke, but we were a team. Darius had an idea for a revolutionary cybersecurity platform. He coded in our freezing garage, surrounded by whiteboards covered in algorithms. I worked my corporate finance job during the day and came home to write his business plans, build financial models, and run compliance checks at night. Our twin children, Liam and Chloe, were born in year 3. They were tiny, perfect, and ours. In another fit of foolish hope, I sent 2 birth announcements to Northwood with photos of their faces. Both envelopes came back, stamped refused. Item number 8 and item number 9. That was the day the ledger became a conscious act. I bought the black leather book and began to catalog the silence, the rejection, the cruelty. It wasn't for revenge. It was for my own sanity. It was proof that I wasn't imagining it. And someday, it would be the answer to the questions my children would inevitably ask. Maya was our lifeline. She was the grandmother my mother refused to be. She taught Chloe to bake. She taught Liam how to garden. Her love was a constant, gentle presence in our lives. Meanwhile, my own sister was texting a mutual friend. The friend, horrified, sent me the screenshot. It's sad, really, Clara had written. Ava's kids won't have real grandparents. That's what she chose. The screenshot became item number 12. Our company, Aegis Security, started slow. Then it caught fire. We landed a major government contract. A Silicon Valley firm invested. We grew, hired, and built something real from nothing. Darius was the visionary CEO. I was the quiet, methodical CFO, the one who made the dream profitable and sustainable. Then came the IPO. Aegis Security went public on the NASDAQ. I remember standing on the trading floor, watching the ticker symbol for our company flash across the screen. Our garage startup was valued in an instant at nearly $500 million. On paper, our family's net worth was a number so staggering it felt like a typo. The 9 years of silence from Northwood shattered. First, a text from my father. * saw you on the news. Always knew you were smart. We're proud. * 9 years of silence, and a Forbes article was what it took for him to feel pride. Then Clara, a gushing voicemail about how she was telling everyone about her amazing sister. And now, my mother was in my kitchen, unfolding her list of demands. And $100,000 for the new roof, and to pay off the mortgage, she was saying, her voice gaining confidence as she read from her paper. $200,000 to help Clara and her husband get back on their feet. A $50,000 education fund for each of Clara's children. And a monthly stipend for your father and me. For our security. She folded the paper neatly. The total is $925,000. It's the right thing to do, Ava. Family helps family. Family, I repeated. The word was a weapon in her mouth. I looked at her, at this woman who had demanded I choose, and I felt a profound, clarifying calm. I stood up. Excuse me for a moment. I walked to my office, the heels of my boots clicking on the hardwood floor. I opened the bottom drawer, my hand finding the familiar, heavy shape of the ledger. I carried it back to the kitchen and placed it on the marble island between us. It made a solid, definitive thud. "What is that?" she asked, a flicker of uncertainty in her eyes. "You brought your list," I said, opening the ledger to the first page. "I brought mine." I didn't shout. My voice was as steady and dispassionate as if I were delivering a quarterly earnings report. Item number 1. I began, sliding the refused wedding photo envelope across the island. Mailed June 12th, returned June 19th. Reason, refused. A photo of your daughter on her wedding day. Item number 8 and number 9. I laid out the 2 return birth announcements. Mailed May 2nd. Returned May 11th. Reason, refused. The announcement of the birth of your only grandchildren. Item number 12. I turned a page and pointed to the printed screenshot. Text from Clara to a mutual friend. Dated August 22nd. Quote, "Her kids don't have real grandparents. That's what she chose. She said this about my children, your grandchildren, when they were 2 years old. My mother's face, so composed a moment ago, began to crumble. We were hurt, Ava. You left us. You shamed us. You disowned me." I corrected her, my voice low and sharp. "You chose the opinions of your neighbors over your own daughter. You did not get to be hurt by the consequences of your own cruelty." I flipped a few more pages. Item number 21. A birthday card from my 5-year-old son. It contained a drawing he made for you of a house with all of us in it. He asked me to mail it. It came back. Refused. At that, a tear finally escaped her eye, but it was a tear of self-pity, not remorse. You don't understand what it was like for us. Just then, the door from the garage opened. Darius walked in, home early from a meeting. He stopped short, seeing my mother. He took in the scene in an instant, my rigid posture, her crumbling face, the 2 documents lying between us like treaties for opposing nations. He didn't say a word to her. He didn't have to. He walked directly to my side, wrapped a strong arm around my waist, and kissed the top of my head. It was a simple, profound gesture of ownership and belonging. He was home. His presence was an anchor in the storm she had created. Sharon stared at him, the man she had deemed not our kind, standing in a house 100 times more valuable than her own, a fortress built on the love she had tried to veto. The lie she had nourished for 9 years, that I had ruined my life, was standing right in front of her, handsome, successful, and undeniably the foundation of my happiness. That silent, loving gesture from my husband gave me the final surge of strength I needed. I picked up her list of demands. The answer to this is no. I let the word hang in the air. It is not no, because I can't afford it. It is no, because the day I write you this check is the day you get to rewrite history. It's the day you tell yourself and Clara and your friends that you were right all along, that your silence was just a rough patch, and that my success is a family asset you are entitled to. It is not. I push the ledger forward. This is the history. 29 documented instances of you choosing pride over love. My family is not a bank you can withdraw from after 9 years of refusing to make a deposit. My family is the man standing next to me. My family is his mother who held my hand when you wouldn't. My family is in my children's rooms upstairs, children you have never met, but now feel entitled to profit from. I looked directly into her eyes. You didn't come here to see me. You came to collect on an investment you refused to make. For the first time in my life, my mother had no words. The intricate web of guilt, obligation, and social pressure she had always wielded was useless here. I had the receipts. She looked from me to Darius, to the beautiful, warm home filled with a love she had no part in. Without another word, she picked up her purse, leaving her list and her suitcase behind. She walked to the front door, opened it, and left. The door clicked shut a quiet, final sound that closed a chapter of my life forever. That door is closed, but this conversation is open. If you've ever had to draw a hard line to protect your peace, your family, or your worth, I want to hear about it in the comments. Your story is a testament to the fact that family is not blood, it is who shows up. Asterisk, asterisk.